Okay, guys, Simon and Levi here from Three Dragons Sports Bar in Hoi An, bringing you the NRL tips for round number 25.
Yeah, nice little round of tipping last round. I think the only one that stuffed me up were the Barneys losing to the Tigers.
I didn't do as well, but a couple wrong. Anyway, moving on to the first game, Thursday night. West Tigers at home to the Eels.
Yeah,
Tigers coming off a scrappy sort of but good win. Seagulls as well, ticking along nicely.
yeah. I mean, they're still in the mix to if anybody up the
Push
top
the floor,
slips
maybe,
up.
yeah. Definitely Turbo being there and playing consistent footy is definitely lifted that team and is now giving them an outside chance for the premiership. But
Yeah, they'll be there and abouts. I don't think they're quite good enough to beat like the really good teams, but
on their day,
maybe,
injuries and HIAs and whatever suspensions.
But yeah, they should be there and abouts, and they should get a comfortable win over the Tigers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Manly 13 plus.
Yeah, probably. The Tigers showing some signs, but again, kind of all getting left to Galvin a bit, and I think it's a bit too much of an ask against the Eagles this week to see the Tigers.
Yeah, I'd say so. Then Friday night we got starting things off the first game over in New Zealand. Warriors last home game of the season against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Warriors, they just haven't really got going, have they? They get a couple of wins here and there, and you think, okay, they could be getting back, but they've been shifting their halves around. Johnson back in, Tamari out.
It's going to be SJ's last game in front of the home crowd and whatnot,
So
but I don't think that's going to.
It's not going to help them.
Nah,
too much.
Nah, I've had a few games in a row where I thought they were like difficult games for the Bulldogs, and every game they've looked very comfortable in the win. Like they haven't really looked, even against the Dolphins last week. I thought that was a dangerous game.
I think it was dangerous at times there, but then they just kind of
well in control most of the
knock
game.
it down and force the errors of the opposition.
And then it's like
I think the Warriors have got too many errors in their game to really challenge the Bulldogs this week.
I'd think so.
But you never know. SJ's last game over at home, they're going to be up for it.
It's definitely going to be. I reckon the Warriors will do what they normally do: start really fast, hard runs,
strong through the pack,
and then they'll just kind of falter towards the end of the game. And start costing themselves with errors.
I think Bulldogs are well too disciplined.
They'll stay in the fight, tough it out, and then come over the top. Yeah, I reckon Bulldogs.
Second game on Friday, we got the Broncos at home to the Eels. Broncos coming off the bye. Eels coming off a wet, soggy beating.
Yeah, that was
tough ground to play at for the Eels, but no excuses. They were well and truly outclassed. Broncos missing Walsh this week, having hand surgery, so he's out for a few weeks. Talk of Cobbo coming back into the team this week, so it'll be interesting to see whether he slots straight into fullback. I tend to think that that's what might happen, given the way that they've kind of settled on the centre and wing spots at the moment. I think Broncos, will be too strong in this game. They should win up at home. They've got to win to keep themselves with a mathematical chance of getting in. They've got to win their last three. Dragons got to lose two of their three.
It's a lot of things that need to go their way, but I reckon they should be able to beat the Eels. Eels, they show glimpses of actually playing decent footy a few games in a row, and then last week was back to kind of not great.
Yeah, lots of holes and.
Yeah, I reckon the Broncos should be able to. Basically, if the Broncos can shore up their defense a bit and not leak too many tries, then they should be able to outpoint them comfortably.
got the class to win that game, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to Saturday, first game, Raiders at home to the Panthers.
Yeah, Raiders.
Panthers, no Cleary, obviously, left shoulder. They're calling not season ending, potentially. Out for a few weeks, so he might be back in finals time. But it's not a bad thing for the Panthers, that lets their other players stand up and
they've been playing good all year without him. Close losses.
Whether they can win a premiership without him is another thing, but they can definitely
make a grand final at least
and beat a lot of the other teams regardless of Cleary.
He just adds that little cherry on top. He's just the X factor that can change a close game. But yeah, I think that they should win even down in Canberra. Like the Raiders been okay. But not great.
Just kind of just struggling a little bit with their spine. I think at the moment they've got some decent players in around that area, but it's just not really working for them. Not much experience in there as well. So I expect the Panthers to get the win down the capital city down there in Canberra.
Second game on the Saturday, we got the Storm at home down in Melbourne hosting the Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins. Unfortunately, their slide has continued basically ever since Bennett signed. They've just haven't had the same energy and spark. They've won a couple of games here and there to show some signs, but against a well-drilled Storm team down in Melbourne, Bellamy against Bennett. Bellamy wins that contest every day of the week.
The Storm, coming off an impressive win over Penrith, that was a tough game.
Yeah.
And the Storm, well and truly, like the way they're going at the moment, impressive.
Yeah, Munster's got a busted nose, but that should be all right. He's still carrying a bit of a groin niggle, so don't be surprised to see Money being rested a couple of at least 1 or 2 weeks leading into the finals.
It's very possible.
Considering they got Wishart there, that's been, playing the house down, and Farlogo, isn't even making the bench at the moment. So they've got depth to burn, and with every chance of them taking minor premiership now. Wouldn't Money might play this game, but wouldn't be surprised to see him miss maybe the last game of the year against the Broncos, and we'll see about next week as well.
Yep. Finish things off on the Saturday. We got the Bunnies at home to the Knights. Bunnies, not great. Knights, quite unlucky in Golden Point loss to the Sharks.
Yeah, Knights still very heavily reliant on Ponga. Once he gets injected, then they score. When he's not in the game much, they're struggling a little bit, the Knights. But the Rabbitohs, they're just a bit of a kind of. I thought at one stage last week they were like, oh, okay,
a bit, but nah.
And then some discipline there.
Yeah.
Their forward pack, I think, is struggling a little bit. I don't think they've got the strength in the forward pack to deal with the Knights this week.
No, I think
the Knights will be too strong through the middle.
And then, they got the next little episode in the whole Latrell saga and a bit of distraction off the field. God knows, but we'll see. For them, it's like get the season over with.
Yeah.
Start rebuilding with Bennett and try and sort the mess out.
Yeah, I think they're lucky enough just to have 1 or 2 wins enough to not be vying for that spoon with the Tigers and the Eels, because that's likely to go down to the final round.
Yeah, the
Tigers v Eels last round for the spoon is a likely game scenario.
True.
Okay, moving on to Sunday's game. We've got Titans at home to the Roosters.
Yeah.
Roosters against a bottom 8 team.
Yeah.
They'll get it done.
Oh, yeah, they'll get it done handily. Titans, they're after getting smacked by the Sharks, they're a bit better last week. Like, they actually Like Keanu Kenny played amazing. Foreign
Played
played really
solid.
well in his 300. Like the Titans, they got the bits and pieces of something good, but again, like it's probably better luck next year.
You know, Fafita's kind of everyone's talking about him playing this like pack horse, workhorse style. You know, play at the moment. Not as much impact, and it is kind of showing. I think Sewer was kind of like in his face on the weekend, and that was a really good contest between Sewer and Fafita there. Sewer probably got the points in that one, but I think that's something Fafita needed to do this season. I know someone like Bryce Cartwright did it a couple of years ago, where when he got back into first grade, he took a year, took all the glamour away from his game, focused on doing the right things and doing all the hard work, and then the following year, building on your game and bringing back in the X Factor style. So I think with the Titans out of the hunt, I think it's the right call for Desi to try to get Fafita to do the hard work, to see what the hard work is about. And then we might see a different Fafita next year, a lot more offloads and stuff like that. But this year, Roosters, Titans, Roosters, Roosters are absolute bullies against bottom 8 teams, and this should be a big win.
Should be, And then to finish things off, massive game, Dragons, Sharks.
Massive game for top 4 and for the top 8.
Yep.
Dragons have just moved clear a little bit from the Dolphins. If the Dolphins lose, they're going to keep that, maintain that position regardless of a loss here.
I mean, the Dragons, but going by their consistent inconsistency, they should lose this one. But it's down in at home. Sharks were unconvincing.
They started the game on fire, then kind of struggled through that middle period.
They didn't really. The Sharks
made some errors, and
I don't know. Like I'm not quite.
It was obvious in that last game that they're missing a key half. They're playing Brayley at 9 and McGuinness at 7 in attack.
And so, then they swap it, and
in defence, then McInnes is moving into the centre to take that the centre forwards, and Brayley going out to the onto the side a bit, but without Trindle and Nico, it is showing a little bit when it comes down to their attack and key areas. The Sharks' back 5 is still, I think. I don't know if there's a better back 5 in the comp, all round, just in bringing the ball out of their own zone. It'd be interesting because the Dragons obviously no Flano still, so it's a lot on Hunt's shoulders, isn't it?
But I reckon Hunt's the kind of player who can step up, and I'm liking the Dragons in this one. I think close game, but I think I'm liking the Dragons.
A lot on the line, isn't it? It's I don't know. Teams lists come out. I think Nico's still a little bit away. I don't know about Brad. I don't know if he's still got some suspension or something going on. I don't know. You're thinking Dragons?
I'm thinking Dragons. Yeah, close, but I think Dragons.
Yeah, it's at Cogra, is it?
No, it's
Wynn Stadium down. Oh, it's down in the Gong.
Yeah,
down in the Gong there. Dragons do like it down there. Again, it's going to be a super windy game down there. The wind's going to be blowing. I think the team that gets the wind in the first half will get the advantage. I think maybe the Dragons as well down there in the Gong with Ben Hunt's kicking game. I think that might be enough to get a win there 2 weeks in a row down there. I think just playing that ground, and it's the second week in a row that they're going to be playing there. I think that could swing them.
Yeah, it might do
into that advantage spot.
Yep. There we go. There's our tips for the round. Good luck with yours, and we'll see you next week.
Good luck.